The clock is ticking closer to Inauguration Day for President-elect Donald Trump, and today the Senate is making progress on deciding the future of the next presidential cabinet.
70s could be possible to close out the work week, but that's a different story. By next weekend, we'll talk about the Arctic blast that is on the way.
As multiple wildfires blaze a trail of destruction across the Los Angeles area, Texas firefighters are stepping up and joining in the fight. Thanks so much for joining us at 5 o'clock. I'm Daniel Marin. Jennifer Sanders is on assignment at this hour. Winds continue to be a threat in the catastrophic California fires that have now killed at least 24 people. And as NBC's Jennifer Bjorklund reports, containment lines grew over the weekend, but this afternoon, so does concern that the wind is back.
An errand of sadness where just the tiniest find of anything recognizable offers hope.
There's not much that I found here. All I have is like this bag, a lemon, some metallic sprinkler heads just to make my 89-year-old mother feel better, that I salvaged them.
Fire blasted through the Palisades where no one expected it. They left for work Tuesday. Hours later, found out from neighbors or from their doorbell cameras, their homes were gone.
This was the safe part of the Palisades. You know, we're no flood zone, no, fire zone. This was State Farm had just, re-upped our insurance because we were in a safe area. So we didn't expect this at all.
And it isn't over. Help is coming in from all directions. A drone-damaged super scooper from Canada will rejoin the fleet in the sky on Tuesday. And dozens of Mexican firefighters from the federal fire team and the Mexican Army joining the front lines of the Palisades fire this morning after getting training all weekend at March Air Reserve. And while the work continues to contain the fire before the wind kicks up again, the grid search on the ground for hazards and remains of those still missing.
Please be patient with us. People are saying, I just want to go look at my house and I want to see what's left. We know that, but we have people literally looking for the remains of your neighbors. Please be patient with us.
Patience with the work to be done and the wind to potentially add more destruction to a scope already unimaginable. Jennifer Bjorklund, NBC News, Pacific Palisades.
And firefighters from Central Texas are headed to California. Well, they headed there over the weekend to join in the fight against these wildfires. Our Jayla Washington joins us now with where they were sent and what they're seeing so far. Jayla.
Yeah, Daniel, we are talking about dozens of firefighters from Central Texas. That is firefighters from Austin, Round Rock, Hutto, Kyle, Jarrell, and others. They just got to California late last night. As we're showing you there, some pictures of some of those crews. Austin Fire tells me the strike team from Central Texas is assigned to the Palisades fire specifically. That is the biggest fire burning in the Los Angeles area right now, with only 14% containment at last check, destroying thousands of homes already. Our firefighters from Central Texas will be there for up to 21 days. That is according to Austin Fire. AFD says 540 engines, 115 hand crews, 60 water tenders, more than 40 helicopters, and more than 60 dozers are going to be working the Palisades fire. I got to speak with an AFD lieutenant who has been keeping up with his crew all around the clock on the ground there right now, as well as a firefighter from Kyle's fire department about how things are going so far.
They work 24 hours on, and then they would get 24 hours off. It's what we're here for. We're here to serve.
Houses burned down to the ground, stores burned down to the ground. We can look and see the devastation on the faces of those that have lost a lot of property.
So that was Justin Rucker with the Kyle Fire Department. At the end of that clip there, you could see and hear that it was really glitchy just because of how poor the service is in those areas where crews are fighting those fires right now. Now, keep in mind, those winds are going to be picking up tonight, really posing a challenge for those crews who are there. And after 21 days, they could send more firefighters to relieve those crews who are there right now, according to AFD. But it is just really a huge honor for those who are there on the ground right now. They are joining firefighters from all across the country and even from across the border. So they're certainly happy to just do their part as they try to put those fires out.
And I'm sure they appreciate the help out there. All right, Jayla, thank you very much. Well, some more now about the Mexican firefighters. There are 73 of them. They're helping in the Palisades fire. They arrived Saturday at LAX and received training, as you heard, at March Air Reserve in Riverside. Now, the group includes members of the federal fire team and the Mexican Army. The firefighters will work alongside local fire crews to set up fire lines. CAL FIRE says they are thankful for the added manpower.
It's extremely important to have the help from our neighbors. Not only do we have Mexico down here, we have the Canada firefighters coming in here today. We have multiple other state entities here. Yesterday we saw Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Wyoming, Montana.
The Mexican team started work in the Pacific Palisades this morning. All right, let's transition to weather now. We have Tommy House in for Nick Bannon today, and kind of a nice day out there. It's, not too bad, not too cold.
Not too bad. Seasonable, upper 50s. We were dry, mostly cloudy. We'll see a bit of a warm up through the next few days. Here's the current conditions right now. Let me take you to Dripping Springs Alley Medical Emergency Room. Thank you for providing us with this shot. Few drivers out and about for their evening commute. 56 in Dripping Springs at this hour. We'll see temperatures cool down pretty quickly. First, though, checking in with pollen, cedar, and molt. They are trending low, and we will continue to monitor these trends at KXAN.com/allergy. Hill country temperatures 53 in Gillespie County, 54 in Llano, 55 in San Saba. Lampasas already at 50. How about downtown? 54 in Austin, 53 at the airport, 54 in Pflugerville, and 54 up in Williamson County and Georgetown, east of I-35. Pretty much the same idea. A tad warmer down in Fayette County, places like Flatonia, 57. Evening planner will go from the upper 40s to the low 40s by 11 p.m. and then 30s overnight tonight. Some places will be in the 20s toward the hill country. We'll talk about temperatures continuing to warm up across the next few days. We could get some scattered showers out of this before an Arctic blast moves through. I'll have the latest on that in First Warning Weather.
All right, Tommy, thank you very much. El Paso migrant shelter Annunciation House pleaded its case to the Texas Supreme Court this morning in its fight to stay open amid the Texas Attorney General's efforts to shut it down. Annunciation House is a Catholic charity. Attorney General Ken Paxton calls it a de facto stash house, though, and has been trying to shut it down since last February. Now, he claims the shelter violates state law by helping people suspected of being in the U.S. illegally. In July, a judge rejected Paxton's initial request, saying it was, quote, harassment and overreaching. It's not clear when the state Supreme Court will issue its ruling. Well, let's take a live look at the Texas Capitol right now, where you can see the state and nation's flags flying at half-staff in observance of the death of President Jimmy Carter. Today, Governor Greg Abbott announced he will order the flags outside all state buildings to be at full staff on January 20th for President-elect Trump's inauguration. The governor cites a federal statute that says the U.S. flag should be displayed on certain holidays, including Inauguration Day. The flags were lowered for President Carter on December 29th. The Department of Veterans Affairs says the flags should remain at half-staff for 30 days after a president dies. And as the nation prepares to transition to another Trump administration, the Senate has begun work to see who will be part of his cabinet. As NBC's Alice Barr reports, more than a dozen confirmation hearings are underway as a busy week starts on Capitol Hill.
With President-elect Trump set to be sworn in 1 week from today, inaugural preparations are ramping up.
We're prepared.
As Trump cabinet picks face potentially contentious confirmation hearings starting tomorrow, when Defense Secretary selection Pete Hegseth is expected to be grilled over past accusations he fiercely denies of sexual assault, alcohol abuse, and financial mismanagement. Republican senators rallying behind him.
Pete is somebody that believes in this country,
while Democrats remain skeptical.
He just does not seem to have the qualifications.
That as a federal judge today cleared the way for the Justice Department to release special counsel Jack Smith's report on President-elect Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Stymied in appeals, the case that centered on the lead-up to the January 6th Capitol attack never made it to trial. The president-elect has promised pardons for many convicted in the riot. Vice President-elect J.D. Vance adding this.
If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned.
President Biden preparing to hand over power, addressing his foreign policy record from the State Department.
America is stronger. Our alliances are stronger. Our adversaries and competitors are weaker.
The president looking back while his team pairs with incoming Trump staffers in an urgent push for a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza.
We are close to a deal, and it can get done this week.
The proposal calls for Israeli troops to withdraw to the border and sets up the phased release of all hostages in what would be a hard-fought win for two U.S. administrations. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy is out after stalled contract negotiations. This comes after McCarthy's contract expired last week and neither party signed the new deal. McCarthy led the team for 4 seasons, ending his run with 49 wins and 35 losses. With McCarthy's impending exit, owner Jerry Jones is now looking to hire the 9th head coach since his tenure began in 1989. The Cowboys haven't moved past the divisional round of the NFC playoffs since their last Super Bowl run at the end of the 1995 season. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department made a major land purchase that will double the Enchanted Rock Natural Area, the state park. The department says it bought more than 3,000 acres of land next to the park. The department bought the new property for $43 million. It's the latest in a series of land acquisitions the department has made in recent months. This new purchase comes after Parks and Wildlife bought 630 acres for Enchanted Rock back in September, I should say. It'll soon take public comments for recreational uses for this new land. An Austin area aerospace company is headed to the moon. Firefly Aerospace is launching its very own lunar lander this week. It aims to be the first of several moon missions. KXAN senior science reporter Eric Hendrickson takes a closer look at the miraculous journey.
This is the first decade that we're seeing a commercial enterprise and a commercial push out to the moon, and really a U.S. return to the moon in general.
This lunar lander, Blue Ghost 1, will complete a years-long mission, bringing a little bit of Austin to the surface of the moon.
I don't think human beings are just naturally capable of appreciating the full emotional spectrum of that. You just kind of have to live through it.
Firefly Aerospace engineer Kevin Schultes says he's full of excitement and fear.
We're right there. The moment is coming.
Awarded a NASA contract in 2021, Firefly spent the next 4 years building Blue Ghost 1. Its destination?
In the northeast corner of the moon, towards the edge of the moon, you'll see a dark crater. It's pretty sizable, called Mare Crisium, or the Sea of Crisis.
The journey takes 45 days.
We do this to actually kind of use the gravity of the moon to help pull us along a little bit.
After landing, several experiments will run, including drilling into the lunar surface and testing the moon's electromagnetic environment. Blue Ghost 1 is one of 3 missions from the company, the second of which will travel to the far side of the moon.
It's dark from radio interference from the Earth, from all of our human activity, all of our cell phones, all of our radio broadcasts. It's dark there, and it makes a great place to observe radio astronomy on the far side.
These moon missions will each have a ticking clock.
When the daylight is gone, that plunges the area into an abyssal cryogenic dark, minus 250 degrees.
With only 2 weeks of daylight on the moon's surface, Blue Ghost 1 can't be late to its final destination.
So when the night comes, that is end of mission.
In Austin, Eric Hendrickson, KXAN News.
And Blue Ghost 1 is scheduled to launch from Cape Canaveral on Wednesday, just after midnight. The company's next lunar mission, Blue Ghost 2, is scheduled for 2026. Going in depth, Firefly is one of several private aerospace companies collaborating with NASA. The space agency works with companies such as Blue Origin, Boeing, and SpaceX. And as the landscape of the aerospace industry changes to a more privatized focus, Texas is leading the way. Last year, the Texas Space Commission officially launched. It plans to distribute $150 million toward the development of the space industry here in the state. And it also provided $200 million toward the Texas A&M Space Institute, which is tasked with designing lunar landers, rovers, and habitats for future lunar and Martian explorations. All right, well, back down here on Earth, Tommy, it's pretty nice. We warmed up from last week, but you were saying don't get too comfortable.
Yeah, we'll warm up a little bit through the work week, and then we'll see a huge crash of temperatures. I want to show you it by showing you the temperatures across the country. This is the departure from normal. So the blue is colder than normal, and that yellow, orange, red is going to be warmer than normal. So today in Austin, a bit more chilly. We should be in the low 60s. I'm not complaining about the cold weather, but then warmer temperatures for a few days, and then by next weekend, look at that. All across pretty much everyone in the lower 48, we're going to be dealing with the chill from an Arctic blast. Today, 57 was the official high temperature. Should be at 62, far away from any sort of records, and not a lot to talk about here. Clouds and radar across the Lone Star State. Few showers maybe up toward the Panhandle. High pressure just continues to dominate all the central states. 54 in Austin, up in Williamson County, 54 in Georgetown, 53 Cameron, 50 in Lampasas County. Getting cold tonight, out the door tomorrow morning. Look at this, 30s downtown, 20s toward the hill country, east of I-35, low to mid-30s, down toward LaGrange at 35. And by the afternoon, winds will be out of the east. Will stay kind of like today, somewhere in the mid to upper 50s for your Tuesday. Here's how it's going to look on clouds and radar. We'll start off tomorrow with some upper level clouds, then more overcast conditions will build in through the afternoon, and some spotty showers will quickly return. 20% rain coverage here. No severe weather. It's not going to be a washout, just some drizzle from time to time overnight Tuesday through Wednesday morning. We'll keep a 20% rain chance for Wednesday, 10% on Thursday. Then we're dry Friday, Saturday through next weekend. When it's all said and done, 1/4 of an inch to an inch for LaGrange, 1/10 of an inch to a 1/4 of an inch for Austin in the hill country, less than a 1/10 of an inch there. Look at the confidence here. Darker blues is higher trends of some colder than normal confidence for across our area. That's 6 to 10 days out from now. So starting this next Saturday through next week, the 3rd week of January, is looking to be cold for pretty much everyone across the lower 48. The Arctic air right now is actually way up in Russia in the Arctic Circle. But watch what happens as I play this out through the next 3 to 5 days. The white and pink, that's the chilly, frigid air. It's going to spill into our area. When I mean our area, I mean pretty much everyone across the United States dealing with some cooler than normal weather. Watch the northern plains, though, in the Midwest. They could be seeing high temperatures in the negatives, if you can believe it. For us locally, though, highs will be in the 40s. Lows will be below freezing. This is not going to be a widespread, prolonged 2021 event by any sort of means. It is too far out for the specifics of wind chill weather forecasting here, but we will be below freezing during the overnight hours for at least several nights next week, and this arrives Saturday night through Sunday morning. So here's how it looks across the next few days. Bit of a warm-up each day, Thursday, Friday, maybe 70 on Friday, 60s on Saturday. Once that front comes through, our temps are dropping to the 40s, 42. By next Monday, lows will probably be in the low to mid-20s for Monday. All right, tonight, 35, though, partly cloudy and cold. Winds will be calm. Winds out of the east tomorrow. Back up into the upper 50s with some cloud cover building in it throughout the rest of the afternoon for your Tuesday. Wednesday, some showers during the morning hours. Thursday, we'll keep that 10% chance for rain just in case. By Friday, close to 70, mostly cloudy skies. Then we should clear out a little bit once that front moves through, mostly sunny skies, going from the 60s, 66 on Saturday. Look at the lows Saturday night into Sunday, back down to 32 degrees. The Austin 3M half marathon is Sunday morning. Bundle up for that. 48 on Sunday, 42 on Monday. We'll be right back.
O'Reilly. Trump.
After 4 years, Donald Trump headed back to the White House. On the eve of the inauguration, I will give you unprecedented insight because of my access.
Bill O'Reilly's The United States of Trump, Friday, 9/8 Central, only on News Nation.
Austin Tex-Mex restaurant Trudy's is closing its North Austin location, leaving the decades-old restaurant chain without a foothold in Central Texas. The location shared a goodbye message on Instagram saying it's leaving the location on Burnett Road. A North Carolina venture capital company bought Trudy's in 2020 after the restaurant filed for bankruptcy. Now, just last year, Trudy's closed a South Austin location, and in 2022, the location near UT Austin was sold. In its announcement today, the restaurant said, quote, "While this chapter closes, Trudy's Tex-Mex continues forward, and we are excited for what's to come." Well, millions of people bathed in 3 sacred rivers today as India's largest Hindu festival began. It's the first day of Maha Kumbh Mela celebrations. You can see a huge gathering of people around the sacred river confluence. The holy bath serves as a moment of rebirth, with a dip in the water serving as an opportunity to cleanse believers of their past sins. This festival, which happens every 12 years, will last 45 days, and around 400 million people are expected to gather. Well, coming up on KXAN tonight at 7 o'clock, it's Deal or No Deal Island, followed by Law and Order SVU at 9 o'clock, before we're back with KXAN News at 10. Or as always, you can join us an hour earlier for KXAN News at 9 over on CW Austin. Here is where to find us.